Several large severe weather outbreaks are about to sweep across portions of the central and eastern United States, and in this video we're going to be giving you everything that you need to know on those outbreaks, everywhere from the areas that they're going to impact to what they're going to do and more. So let's go ahead and get right into it. To start off this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook over the next few days. You can see today we've got ourselves a marginal risk of severe weather across portions of southern New England, and this is due to some enhanced lapse rates as well as a cold front moving through, so some gusty thunderstorms that are going to have the possibility to produce small hail cannot be ruled out over the next few hours. No sort of tornado threat with these, and honestly, by the time this video comes out, there's a good chance that they've all dissipated. But as we move into tomorrow, we're going to be watching for something similar, but this time across portions of the central plains here, as the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted a marginal risk of severe weather driven by damaging winds and large hail. But again, a tornado threat is not going to be in play tomorrow, as we're going to be lacking several key ingredients for us to see a significant tornado threat. Now, as we go into Thursday, we have a day 3 slight risk of severe weather that extends from the Mississippi River all the way back over to portions of central Nebraska, and in my opinion, this is set up for a large to very large hail threat, as well as some significant damaging winds, but a tornado threat is probably going to be limited due to multiple facts. Like the storms being elevated, they're going to have a harder time getting those tornadoes to touch the surface. We've also got ourselves a significant lack in lower level CAPE values, so that's also going to lead to some struggles in the development of supercells and tornadoes for this setup. But I still think that large hail and damaging winds are still going to be huge threats here. As you can see, the Storm Prediction Center does have that day 3 hatched outline there for sections of southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri, and southeastern Nebraska, as very large hail and damaging winds up to 80 miles an hour cannot be totally ruled out. So if you are in this area here on Thursday, make sure that you do have multiple ways to receive alerts. Now, as we go into Friday, we're going to be talking about an event that actually could have a bit of a tornado threat associated with it. Currently, we do have a slight risk of severe weather that goes all the way from parts of central Michigan back into northwestern Texas here, including over 40 million people. Now, I do think that this is mainly going to be a damaging wind and hail threat again, and we'll talk about why later. But again, I would not rule out a couple of tornadoes and maybe even a brief strong tornado somewhere in sections of Missouri or Kansas, as storm mode does look to be pretty promising here for Friday. Now, that's not all. As we go into the day 5 outlook, we can see that we're going to have another slight risk of severe weather for Saturday, going out from parts of central Texas all the way back into West Virginia, and I actually wouldn't rule out a couple of tornadoes somewhere in Texas or southeastern Oklahoma on this day due to multiple factors being in play, like high CAPE values, the placement of our trough, and much more. So after that, we've got ourselves another slight risk on the day 6 outlook here. This is Sunday's outlook. We can see that we've got a slight risk of severe weather that goes all the way from southwestern portions of Illinois back into east central Texas, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, this looks like it could be a significant severe weather, if not tornado outbreak. So if you are in this area on Easter Sunday, make sure that you have multiple ways to receive alerts, and whenever you're out for your activities, make sure that you do know where you're going to go if a tornado or severe thunderstorm warning does get issued for your location, because Sunday looks to be potentially the biggest day here in the month of April, other than perhaps April 2nd. But again, we'll talk about that more in a later forecast since we're still somewhat far out. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what the NAM 3KM model here is showing us for the next couple of days. You can see we've got some of those gusty thunder showers in portions of the eastern Ohio Valley and New England there today, and we're actually going to be looking at the potential for some Appalachian snow showers here overnight. But as we go into tomorrow, we are going to have that potential to see some severe thunderstorms develop in the late nighttime hours. This is 3 a.m. You can see that we've got a couple of supercells developing back into parts of southeastern Nebraska, as well as some gusty thunderstorms developing near the St. Louis metro area. These are mainly just going to bring a damaging wind threat, but I wouldn't rule out some isolated large hail either across sections of Nebraska and Kansas. Now, as we go into Thursday here, this is where we really start to see a large hail threat ramp up. As you can see, this is 2 p.m. We've got ourselves discrete supercells that are going to be capable of producing large to very large hail all across the state of Minnesota. And back into North Dakota, we actually could see some mixed precipitation leading to some very heavy snowfall and potentially even blizzard conditions at times. So make sure that you are prepared for that out there in central North Dakota as well as northeastern North Dakota. Now, as we go later into the evening time hours on Thursday, we can see those thunderstorms push into portions of Wisconsin, still promoting a potential for large to very large hail as well as damaging winds, and that's where we also start to see some thunderstorms develop back into portions of Nebraska. Now, I still don't think that we're going to end up seeing any major tornado threat here on Thursday, but if we were, it would come from this area in eastern Nebraska. If these storms somehow manage to overcome the fact that they're going to be elevated elevated, the lack of 3-cape, and many other features in the environment that are problematic, we could potentially see a brief spin-up tornado in the Lincoln or Omaha metro areas, so make sure that you do have multiple ways to receive alerts if you are in those regions. And this is what I'm talking about with that environment here. This is a sounding pulled from hour 54, which would be Thursday, from far southeastern Nebraska. You can see that if we ignore the fact that these storms are going to be elevated and there is a significant lack of 3-cape with only about 27 joules per kilogram, we can see that we've actually got a pretty impressive environment out here. We've got 3,000 joules per kilogram of surface-based cape. We've got ourselves a significant drop in dew points the higher up you go into the atmosphere, which is going to promote potentially a guerrilla hail threat there. You can see the analogs. We have hailstones potentially getting, potentially up to large apple, maybe even softball size there, or larger as we continue to get closer to this event. So again, make sure the multiple ways to receive alerts, make sure that you got your cars in the garage, all that good stuff here on Thursday. We're dealing with lapse rates, again, anywhere from 7 to 8 Celsius per kilometer, which for a mid-April plains event is actually somewhat unusual and impressive. We've got ourselves a very impressive looking photograph there, very elongated, but again, you'll notice that we are seeing a pretty significant lack in instability there. We do have ourselves decent SRH values ranging all the way from 340 all the way up to 500, depending on what layer of the atmosphere you look at. Our storm slinky's turned at 75 degrees, so overall, while this isn't a perfect environment, it is pretty impressive. And again, if any of our storms can manage to overcome the fact that they are elevated, a brief tornado or two certainly cannot be ruled out. Now, next up, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories currently in effect across the United States. We can see that we've got those winter weather advisories in place for parts of upstate New York and upstate Michigan in the Oven Mitt region, as we are going to see some lake effect snow showers be possible here in those areas over the next few hours. We've got ourselves winter storm watches in place there in the blue shaded boxes for portions of Wyoming and southern Montana, as we are actually expecting this system that's going to bring us severe weather in the plains to potentially bring some heavy snowfall to portions of the northern Rockies. We do have wind advisories and some special weather statements in play across portions of the eastern United States, and if you are in any of those areas, you want to make sure that you're avoiding burning if at all possible, because rapid wildfire spreading is going to be a very serious threat out there today, as well as back into portions of the southern Rockies down through New Mexico and West Texas. Again, those pink shaded boxes there, as always, are your red flag warnings, so if you're in those areas, avoid burning at all costs. Now, outside of that, it's pretty calm, but before we do end off this forecast, I do want to, as always, thank all of our channel members. You guys are what keep this channel running. If you do want to become a channel member, make sure to do so by clicking the link down in the description. You can do it for as little as $4.99 a month, and you're going to get access to exclusive videos, members-only community posts, shoutouts at the end of every forecast, custom stickers to use in live chats, and much, much more. But anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's see if we can hit 4,000 subscribers again, because even though we hit it on our stream last night, we did unfortunately go back under it, and we're sitting at 3990 at the time of filming. So let's see if we can get to 4,000 subscribers once again. We will likely have more forecasts out in the coming days, as this looks to be a pretty significant severe weather threat, especially across parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley pretty soon. And we're also obviously going to be doing hours of live coverage of these severe thunderstorms and tornadoes as they happen with storm chasers on the ground. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, or you're worried about severe weather in your area over the next few days, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys today. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one. Stay safe.